Imagine you are doing absolutely everything right. You eat a clean diet, you sleep a solid 8 hours a night, and you push yourself harder than anyone else in your field. Whether you are studying for a massive career milestone, training for a high-level physical event, or trying to scale a business, you are putting in the work. But despite all the effort, you hit a wall. You feel completely exhausted by midday. Your brain feels wrapped in a thick, inescapable fog. Your joints ache for no apparent reason, and your baseline motivation is starting to tank. Most people in this situation blame themselves. They blame a lack of willpower, poor genetics, or temporary burnout. They buy more supplements, drink more caffeine, and try to force their way through the slump. But what if the source of your struggle isn't a lack of discipline? What if the anchor dragging down your performance is hiding right inside your mouth? Welcome back. Today we are uncovering a hidden medical phenomenon that top-tier doctors, elite performance coaches, and history's greatest researchers have warned us about, but millions of everyday people completely ignore. It is called oral focal infection. This is the exact science of how a single compromised tooth can quietly sabotage your biology, drain your mental drive, and guarantee your failure if left unchecked. The living organ. What is oral focal infection? To truly understand how a tooth can dictate your level of success, we have to completely change how we look at dental health. Society has conditioned us to view teeth as inanimate blocks of bone, basically porcelain tools used for chewing. But structurally and biologically, your teeth are alive. Every single tooth is a dynamic, highly vascular organ. Underneath the hard outer enamel and the supportive dentin lies the dental pulp. This central chamber is packed with living tissue, sensitive nerves, and a direct pipeline of blood vessels that hook right into your systemic circulation. Because of this direct connection, your mouth is not an isolated compartment. It is a gateway to the rest of your body. This brings us to the core concept of oral focal infection. In medical terms, a focal infection occurs when a localized pocket of bacteria establishes itself in one specific tissue but regularly sheds dangerous toxins, pathogens, and inflammatory signals directly into the bloodstream. Once in the blood, these elements travel to distant organs and tissues, causing damage in areas that seem completely unrelated to the source. When you have a hidden, chronic infection in your mouth, such as a failed root canal, a deep untreated cavity, an impacted wisdom tooth, or advanced gum disease, it doesn't just stay in your jaw. It acts like a leaky pipe, dripping highly aggressive bacteria like Porphyromonas gingivalis into your bloodstream 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Your immune system cannot simply ignore this constant invasion. It is forced into a state of permanent low-grade warfare. Your body begins diverting vital energy, nutrients, and immune defenses away from your brain and muscles just to keep the infection in your jaw from spreading. You are fighting a war inside your body that you don't even know is happening. Cognitive sabotage, brain fog, and mental exhaustion. Let's translate this biological war into your everyday reality. If you want to win, create, or build anything substantial, your primary asset is your cognitive horsepower. You need sharp focus, high-level decision-making, and emotional resilience. When an oral focal infection goes unchecked, the continuous flood of bacteria triggers your immune cells to release pro-inflammatory proteins called cytokines. These cytokines circulate through your vascular system and can cross the blood-brain barrier. Once inside the central nervous system, they spark a process known as neuroinflammation. This is the precise scientific mechanism behind chronic low-level brain fog. It directly alters neurotransmitter function, dampens your working memory, and makes sustained mental focus feel incredibly taxing. You might assume you're losing your edge, or that you simply don't have the talent to reach the next level. In reality, your brain is operating in an inflammatory haze. Furthermore, this constant immune activation wreaks havoc on your cellular energy production. Your mitochondria, the microscopic power plants inside your cells responsible for generating ATP, are forced to work under high oxidative stress. The result is chronic systemic fatigue. You wake up feeling unrefreshed, your morning energy crashes by 11 a.m., and your intrinsic drive evaporates. Discipline becomes nearly impossible to maintain when your cells are literally starved for energy because they are busy fighting an invisible dental battle. The physical breakdown. Strength, Recovery and athletic decline. The damage doesn't stop with your mental performance. If your goals involve physical conditioning, strength training, or high-level athletic output, an oral focal infection can completely halt your progress. There is a reason why elite professional sports organizations around the globe mandate incredibly rigorous dental screenings for their athletes. It isn't just about avoiding a toothache on game day. It is about protecting the athlete's muscular and joint integrity. When systemic circulation is crowded with oral bacteria and inflammatory markers, these toxins frequently settle in areas of the body that experience high mechanical stress, specifically your joints, tendons, and recovering muscle tissue. This localized accumulation drastically increases systemic stiffness and alters the body's natural healing cycle. Every time you train heavy or execute a high-intensity workout, you create micro-tears in your muscle fibers. Under normal circumstances, your body repairs these tears, making you stronger and faster. However, if your immune system is entirely preoccupied with a chronic infection in your gums or a dead tooth root, your recovery capacity is severely throttled. Your muscles take twice as long to repair, your joints remain chronically inflamed, and your risk for developing random, nagging injuries like tendonitis skyrockets. You end up plateauing, getting sidelined by injury, and failing to hit your true physical potential, all because of an overlooked biological issue above your neck. Medical history and the modern dental revival. What makes this phenomenon so fascinating is that it isn't brand new science. In the early 20th century, the theory of focal infection was one of the most prominent topics in mainstream medicine. Pioneering physicians observed that extracting a severely diseased tooth would frequently result in the miraculous, rapid recovery of a patient's crippling arthritis, kidney complications, or chronic systemic fatigue. However, back then, the medical community lacked the precision tools we have today. The theory temporarily fell out of favor because doctors began aggressively extracting perfectly healthy teeth as a preventative measure. Today, we are witnessing a massive scientifically backed revival of this theory. Modern biological dentistry and systemic medicine utilize advanced DNA testing and high-resolution imaging. Researchers can now take a biopsy of the arterial plaque in a patient suffering from cardiovascular disease, analyze the bacterial DNA, and trace it directly back to the exact strain of bacteria living in that patient's infected gums. The division between oral health and systemic health is entirely artificial. The mouth is the primary gatekeeper of your entire biological ecosystem. The execution strategy, protecting your potential. If you have been pushing against an invisible wall in your career, your studies, or your physical training, and your focus, energy, and recovery are lagging despite your best efforts, it is time to look at the foundational source. To ensure your oral health isn't actively robbing you of your future success, you need to implement a proactive execution strategy. First, look beyond surface-level pain. Do not assume your teeth are fine just because nothing hurts. Chronic focal infections, particularly those located inside old root canals or beneath deep crowns, can be completely painless because the nerve tissue inside the tooth is already dead. Request a thorough evaluation from your dentist, specifically looking for hidden asymptomatic infections or low-grade jawbone inflammation. Second, optimize your daily oral biome. Traditional brushing only cleans the accessible surfaces of your teeth. Incorporate daily interdental cleaning, flossing, or an oral irrigator to clear out the anaerobic environments where systemic, toxic bacteria thrive. Third, treat oral inflammation as a systemic emergency. If your gums bleed when you brush or floss, that is an open wound. It is an immediate pathway for bacteria to enter your bloodstream and degrade your daily performance. Success requires every single ounce of your cognitive clarity, physical energy, and physiological resilience. Do not let a microscopic hidden infection in your jaw steal the focus and vitality you need to build your life. Fix your health from the foundation, take control of your biology, and eliminate the hidden obstacles holding you back. Thank you for watching. If this perspective challenged how you view your health and performance, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and drop your thoughts in the comments below. We will see you in the next video.